In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about generating random numbers. So you will need to do this for project 2, where I ask you to create sort of a math quiz web page, right? So you're going to have to generate 2 random numbers so that the user can then add them together and provide their answer. So I'm in section 6.9 of your book, and it talks about the different math objects that are available to you. There are several different methods within the math object. So if you take a look at this list here, you'll see some. Notice floor and ceiling here. Ceil returns x rounded up to the nearest integer, right? So this is going to return a 3. Notice what it does there. Floor, on the other hand, rounds down to the nearest integer. So here where you have 2.9, you would get a 2. So just a couple very useful methods to work with. The random number, we use quite often. So it's math period random. Notice that the math keyword has an uppercase M. And when you want to generate a random number within a range, there is a formula to do that. So I'm about 3/4 of the way down on your book here. It's math.floor. Right, so you're rounding down. You see that you're rounding down to a whole integer. Here, you're going to get a whole number. And then it uses the random number generated and the maximum in your range minus the minimum in your range, etc., etc. So there's a whole formula, but let's see it in play. So I'm going over to the same file that I used earlier in the previous videos, and I've added a function here to generate random numbers. So right down here, it's called function myRandom. And here's where I use 2 variables, and I call the random number generator twice using that full formula so that it rounds to a whole number. You see that happening. And it also stays within the range of 0 to 20. So it's 20 minus 0 plus 1 plus 0. So it's 20 minus 1. You could change this obviously to 19, but I just wanted to show you the breakdown. So my variables I've declared up at the top of my script. This makes them global variables, meaning I can use them anywhere, and the change will be remembered from function to function. Okay, so I call the random number generator, and then I display the answer in the console log. My function is called within the script itself. So if you take a look at what my script looks like, remember this was when we did some inner HTML changes. We created an H2, we changed a styling, and now here's my function call. So it is just the function name, right, followed by the open close parentheses. There's nothing inside the parentheses, and this calls the random function so that these statements will then get executed. Now, if you just save and run, okay, you'll need to open up the console. So you can go to More Tools, Developer Tools, or press F12. And there are my random numbers. And every time I refresh my page, it'll generate new numbers, 10 and 3. And again, always between 0 and 20. So you can just keep going and you'll see there's a 0. So there's the floor. Haven't seen a 20 yet, but you can keep trying and see what you get.